You did a good job at explaining all that, so I don't have too many questions for you, but where did you get some of the facts and figures in order to come up with that projected stimulus budget?
Well, basically, a lot of those items are what we've been, some of those are like formulas. The money we're getting for energy conservation and energy projects is based on our population. The CDBG grant money is again based on a federal formula. The money from the federal transit to resurface the roads are again a formula. Some of those, like the grants that we're going to get for, are actually the low interest loans and possible forgiving those for the water and sewer and systems, or basically applications and some of the other things we've applied for. So we've been, we've been following the stimulus package for a long time. We continue to follow it because a lot of areas the rules haven't been written yet, so we're trying to look at those as much as we can. But what we're trying to make sure is that as much as possible that Dothan participates in the stimulus program. For several reasons. Obviously, we love the money to be able to do some things that we couldn't do. The other thing, obviously, is it's designed to promote the local economy, and a lot of this work will be on contractual basis, which will help create jobs locally and hopefully help some person or some people who are unemployed. So, I think that, there's several goals in mind as we go forward with this. So we continue to monitor that. We just wanted to provide an update to the City Commission and the public, let them know that City of Dothan, we are diligently researching the various options available through the federal stimulus program to make sure that at the end of the day we can get everything that we can.
And what's the total dollar amount that you expect the city of Dothan to receive from Washington?
Well, I didn't really add the numbers because there's some of them not there, but I think if you add it up, it's probably approaching $5 million right now. Actually about $15 million right now.
Just for the city of Dothan?
That's just for the city of Dothan. It's, we've got approximately $10 million in water sewer projects. We got another $1.4 million for roads. We got another $600,000 for energy. So right there alone, that's, $12 million. And then all the little things. Obviously, if we get accepted for the police grant, there's another 9 police officers. That would be $1.5 million. And again, the caveat with that one, obviously, is that would fund those positions at 100% for 3 years. The 4th year, we would have to pay those. In the 5th year, if the city couldn't afford it, it could eliminate those positions. But as we continue to grow, we all know that we're going to have to add additional police officers, and that'll be a way for us to, at least, if we could get approved for that grant, to be able to do that. Now, the caveat there is it doesn't buy the uniforms, it doesn't buy the patrol cars and all of the equipment they need. But most of the cost of having to put an officer on this road is paying his salary. So it's a great opportunity for us, because to be honest, we need to add some additional policemen right now, so it'll allow us to go ahead and do that and have 3 years of which the stimulus program will actually be funding that.
And do you find that receiving that $15 million for the city of Dothan is like a breath of fresh air?
Well, obviously, we're able, like the water tank is something that we've needed for a while. It was identified in the 2001 Poly Engineering report. The priority first was to install the 2 wells, which we did last year in a major transmission line. And obviously, with the growth in the northwest sector of the city, at times, especially during the summer, we have some pressure problems, and this elevated tank will allow us to solve that. And I have to put a plug in for Troy University, Troy Dothan. I say that they have worked with us to identify a site on their campus to, if the City Commission agrees to accept it, would provide a location for that. And then obviously the benefit they have is they expand their campuses and build new buildings, and also for fire protection they'll have better water supply in their area. So I think that worked out well.
Some of those projects have, of course, green, environmentally friendly stipulations. Speak about that.
Right, we're working on that. Like the water tank, once if we use certain materials and we do certain ways, up to 30% of that loan can be forgiven. The same thing with the wastewater treatment plant. There's up to 30%. So we're working with our engineers to make sure that we design that. We don't think that's going to be difficult to achieve, but at this point in time, obviously, we have to put together a proposal and see if they buy that. and that, one of the things that we're going to do with the energy money is we want to look at, basically doing a survey of electricity used in our buildings. We have a lot of facilities that are old. A lot of those facilities, the lighting, the fixture, and all those were installed 20, 30 years ago when, the energy efficiency today is considerable. That, for example, I think we talked about street lights. Traffic signals. The LED lighting only consumes about 20% of the electricity of the standard bulb. The good news is we'd already done 60% of the city. We've been converting, and hopefully with the grant funds we do, we can remain and do that. We are looking at streetlights. Do that citywide is $4.5 million, obviously with $635,000, we can't do the whole city. But we're looking at doing it downtown. One of the things with the downtown renaissance or the revitalization efforts and the new businesses being able to change the facade, hopefully, and increase the intensity of the lighting by that, and also reduce power consumption.
Of all the projects, which ones were the ones that you said were competitive money, where you have to compete with other cities?
Obviously, the police offers competitive money. Some of the ones that don't have dollar figures yet, like with our smart grid for our energy system, with the rework of the Flynn Road Power Station, those are competitive dollars. The work, I think there's Larry and those are the fire chief's trying to get some money to renovate 2 fire stations. Again, that's competitive dollars, and that. So, probably most of it. I think probably the most significant thing, and I think some of you covered it last week, is when we look at Alabama, you're getting $3 billion with a B. And $1 billion of that is going toward education. So it eliminates, the next billion is going for Medicare and the corrections department. And then almost 3/4 of the last billion is designated for roads. So when you get down to the little pot to divide among all the cities and counties in the state, as well as state agencies competing, you see there's not a lot of money left over. But again, if we can end up with somewhere between $15 or $20 million and allow us to move forward with projects, number one, that we had to do anyway, and move those up and get some assistance with the big wastewater treatment plant, then the citizens of Dothan win.